You see this? This is the credit card number I used just yesterday to pay for some landscaping work. Yes, that is the real expiration date and the real security pin. This credit card, well, this is the one I used to pay for my Netflix subscription. But before you get any ideas, I'll go ahead and spoil your fun by telling you that I've already closed these accounts and opened new ones. You're welcome to try those cards if you want, but they won't work. Now, how am I easily closing and opening credit card accounts without damaging my credit score or waiting on a bank for weeks to send me a new card? Welcome to the world of virtual credit cards. And if you've never used one before, you're in for a treat. You're not only gonna learn how they work in this video, but you'll discover how to set them up yourself for free and learn an interesting new way to protect your financial transactions online.
Before continuing, if this video is of use to you, press like. We invite you to subscribe and hit the notification bell. You'll be notified when new videos are released. We read all your comments. Send us any suggestions or requests via this method. Don't forget to share.
Using your real debit and credit card number online leaves you vulnerable to security breaches that could cost you a lot of lost money, time, and frustration as well. Just one security breach can expose your card information to hackers to make unauthorized purchases and even purchase their dream vacation, all paid for by you. When large online merchants experience data breaches, it usually results in thousands or even millions of compromised debit and credit card numbers. For example, I often use Canva.com to create YouTube thumbnails and social media images as well. In May of 2019, Canva.com had a data breach involving 137 million user accounts. Luckily for me, I started using Canva.com towards the end of 2019, so I wasn't one of the 137 million affected users. Other than lost money and time, in most cases your bank will force you to get a brand new debit or credit card. A few years ago, I was contacted by my bank regarding a potential data breach for an online merchant that I had used to make some purchases. At that time, I had not lost any money and wasn't affected by the breach. However, my bank proactively sent me a new card. I spent so much time updating everywhere online where I use the card and have it stored for automatic payments. I really wish I would have known about a free service like privacy.com back then, which would have saved me so much time and frustration. In this video, I'm going to show you a free service called privacy.com, which is an online card that protects your money and gives you full control when shopping online. Personally, I do most of my shopping online due to convenience, fast shipping, and the ability to find the best prices. The problem with this is that it exposes my card information to tons of merchant sites. If one of these sites experiences a security breach, then my card information can be used by those who compromise the data, or it can be sold to a third party who creates counterfeit cards. We also live in the age of subscriptions where almost everything has a subscription. Personally, I have so many subscriptions like Netflix, Hulu, HBO Now, Amazon Prime, YouTube TV, and so many more that I forget what I'm actually paying for until I check my bank statements. One of my friends recently told me about privacy.com, which he uses to create secure virtual cards that masks his real card numbers when making online purchases. You also don't want your real card information floating around on the dark web. I checked out the website and was blown away by the simplicity of getting started as a new user. If you want to follow along with the setup, or if you're interested in signing up at any point in this video, check the description of this video. I'm going to throw a link in there that you can use. Also, if you use my referral link, we will both get $5 to spend online anywhere after your first transaction.
Now, what we're going to do is see here on the main screen of privacy.com. This is where it's going to take you here. If you want to sign up, you're going to see on the top right hand side for you to sign up and go ahead and go through this process. We're going to click on sign up here. Now it's going to ask you to plug in an email and create a password. So we're going to plug this information in. We're going to jump over to the next page. So after plugging in an email and password, it's going to go ahead and send an email for you, just confirming that address that you plugged in. So we're going to go ahead and confirm that email and jump over to the next step. Now, once you verified your email like we just did, it actually takes you to the home page, and it's that quickly to just go ahead and sign up. Now, of course, there are other steps we want to take, like adding in a funding source right over here. So that way, when we create these virtual cards to charge for like Netflix or different services, we have a central account that we can go through and pull money from. And then you can see your different activities right over here on the side, and then whichever card you're going to start creating for your virtual transactions to be able to go through that process. So let's go ahead and start connecting a fund so that way we can start utilizing and creating virtual cards. So in order to do that, we're going to click on connect funding source right down over here and go to that page. You can see right over here, it's going to ask for the first and last name, date of birth, last four of the social, street address, zip code and your phone number to go ahead and plug this information in. So I'm going to plug this in and we're going to click on confirm phone number, which will send us a text message to verify and then jump over to the next step. So once we went ahead and verified the phone number, it's going to ask us to connect our bank. So we're going to click on connect bank account. And right over here, it's going to have us choose different banks that we can go through, or you can click on the top and search for the bank that you use on a regular basis. Now, this is with Plaid, and Plaid is a very common service to utilize when it comes to connecting your bank instantly with any other services. They are very secure, and I'm actually pretty happy with the services being able to connect instantaneously versus waiting a couple of days. So we're going to click on continue. I'm going to plug in my SoFi information, and we're jumping to the next page. So I went ahead and plugged in my bank information. So you saw there it was going through the steps to verify everything and then have it fully connected. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and create our very first virtual card. Just to kind of go through the steps on how to actually do this, what we're going to do is click on that create a card, and then right over here it's going to ask if you want to give it a nickname. The cool thing is you can choose some popular cards just so it has a nice aesthetic to it, but you can go ahead and name it anything you want. So if you want to call it like water bill, you can go ahead and do that right over here. I believe it will pop up some suggestions sometimes for different logos on there. You can go ahead and put a limit. So if you know your water bill is always an X amount of money, you can go ahead and put a cap on that. You can choose to have it per month, per year, per transaction, total, or single use if you want to use it just one time to pay something at a certain amount. So for this one, we're going to go ahead and set the limit to $100, and then we're going to go ahead and create the account. And then you can see right over here, this is that card number. Just like that, we created a virtual card that can help protect you against different accounts online being hacked and having that private information that you don't want to share with everybody else. You could pause it or close the account as well too, and then you are all good to go with having that account. And you can start creating more cards if you wanted to have, again, for all the different subscriptions or services that you want to utilize when it comes to spending money online.
Here you see all the virtual cards I've created on the left, as well as any transaction activity here on the right. I'm showing you on my computer, but they also have an iOS and Android app I could use. Now, creating a new card is as simple as clicking New Card here on the left, giving it a nickname, and then selecting any limitations I want. And this is where things really get interesting to me. Unlike any other credit card I have in my pocket, with a virtual card, I have the ability to set a monthly limit, a yearly limit, a per transaction limit, a total spend limit, or simply make it a single-use card. And just a little side note here, you can't combine those limits. You can't say, a per transaction limit and then a total yearly transaction limit, which I wish you could do, but that's for later. But anyway, so if I'm creating a card for my Disney Plus subscription, which currently costs me $8.65 when you include tax, I will set a $9 monthly spending limit. I can name the card, I can even assign it a cute little logo, and then within seconds, you'll see that I have a new credit card number. I can take a look at each virtual card in detail to see what transactions have taken place and then easily pause or close the card. This level of control with my finances and online payments, it gets me fired up. I love it. Have you ever lost your credit card or had any sort of fraud before? If so, then you know just how annoying it is to contact your bank, have them close the account, and then wait for weeks while they issue and mail you a new card, right? You lose a little bit of the liability protection that traditional credit cards offer, but you make up for that by setting exact limits on that liability. In other words, sure, I don't have protection if someone steals my Disney Plus credit card and uses it, but since I've set it to a $9 monthly limit, that's pretty much the extent of what I might lose. As far as practical uses go, I'll tell you now that I'm not using a virtual credit card for every single transaction I do, but I'm slowly moving my subscription services to these virtual cards so that I have full control over when my subscription ends. If I can't easily find that cancel subscription button anywhere, I just close the card. Take that, you online services that try to make it hard to unsubscribe from your service. And since you've made it this far to the end of the video, go ahead and punch that like button. I've heard a rumor that you'll get hacked if you don't. Just saying.